Hello, 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 and welcome to another Settlers 2 10th Anniversary Edition video with me, Il Amour, and it is a lovely day in Settlers World. We are going to have a look around, but we're not going to look at all this beautiful stuff and our wonderful settlement. What we're going to be doing today is continuing our video on the menus, and we've had a previous video on the menus. If there's a menu that you're thinking of that we don't cover, it'll be in the first video on menus, so go back and have a look at that. But otherwise, we are completing this game and the series on this game. So the first menu that we're going to be looking at is the fourth one along here. It's the Research and Statistics menu. And the first tab, you can see we have a chart here. It's a line chart. Along the bottom is the time scale. And you can set the time scale to different things. So 16 hours is the max. And it shows the time in minutes, which can be useful if you're looking for specific things. And then there's different statistics you can look at. Let's look at production here. You can see my production blue is 88% and red lower. Coins produced, I'm the only one who's produced coins, 68 to 0. Going back to productivity. Yeah, I've got 88%. Unfortunately, you can't see what their percentage is. So you have to click on one that isn't there to find out the other players' statistics, or the lower player statistics. So you can click on these to understand what's being shown or what's not being shown, which is helpful. And then size of territory, for example, is good if you're playing the site and take over 3/4 of the map. State of the economy is how many goods you're producing, and so yeah, all of this useful stuff. You can use these statistics to figure out if you're winning or losing. One of the ones I want to look at is military strength. This is based on the number of soldiers that you have and their level. So each private gets 1 point, and every level above that gets 2 extra points. So a general should have 9 points. So you can see how your military is going. It's only based on soldiers, not based on buildings at all. And then, of course, defeated soldiers is quite useful to look at to see if you're winning the battles that you're doing. And again, I've got 92. We see the opponent has defeated 5. All right, the next tab that we want to look at is the production tab. And this shows you for all the different types of materials that you've got, how many that you are producing. And so I'm just going to show you very quickly. If we select wood and stone, I'll speed up the video, but as time goes on, these goods register every time they're produced. So there we just got a tree, and so that's shown. They're all shown in different colors. So stone and wood shown in their own color, so it's easy to figure out which is which. And we should just see the fisherman in a minute. Now, food is aggregated, so wheat, bread, all that stuff, fish, ham, all of it is included in one, but we see our fisherman's just caught a fish, and there our fish production goes up by 1. So there we go with the different colors. You can see wood production, we've produced 1 each minute now. So you can see if production is working. And now, having let it run for a while, we can see that each minute we're producing some wood, we're producing planks every so often, and we're producing fish every so often. So you can see how much you're producing of each in this screen. You can clear your selection easily at the bottom. The next thing to look at is the total storage. And this is goods stored in your economy. It gives you the total number of goods. Just notice that there's food there. If I look in my capital, there's no food because I sent it all to the stock house, and that's where the food is. But when we look at the total storage, it gives us the storage for everything in the capital, in harbours, or in stock houses. What it doesn't give you is the amount of goods in other buildings. So though that wood in the carpenter doesn't get included in this count, and that's important to note. You may well have more in your economy than you realise. Similarly, the next tag shows you all the workers that are in your capital, stock houses, or harbours, and it aggregates them across all of them. It doesn't include, again, workers who are in your houses. So we'll have a look and see in here we've got a woodcutter. He's not included, although if we were to burn down the woodcutter and he returned to the capital, then he'd be included. It's only those who are in your stock houses. The 5th tab shows the buildings that you've got in your settlement, and it shows each building. On the right hand side there's a number which is the number of buildings that you currently have, so we see 1 woodcutter and that's how many we've got. And the second number is the number of buildings of that type that are currently under construction, so you can see if they're going to build up soon. You also see underneath, like in this plank worker, 100% showing the efficiency that it's currently working at. And once you've got multiple, you probably want that to be around 90 to 100%. If it's lower than that, you don't need to build any more of those buildings. Just going to show you how the numbers show. We've now got 1 and 1 because we're building another. Some buildings don't have numbers underneath them, like the stronghold, because they don't produce anything, so there's no production percentage. So here in this settlement you can see I've been getting a lot of planks because I want to build ships, and in fact ships and rafts are counted in the same menu. You can see I've been building about 1 per minute, and that's because I want to show you the 6th tab here, and the 6th tab has to do with boats. So here you get a list of your boat names. You can see 4 completed ships, and we've got those, and then you can click on them, you can jump to the ship to find out where it is. Just interestingly, that little porthole picture at the top gives the actual picture of the boat where it is, so it does change over time. If we look at the Aurora, you'll see it looks slightly different. That's because it's taken a little snapshot of the picture, which is a nice touch. So that was the statistics menus. Next is the toggle map. You just click on it to toggle the map on and off. You can't move the map, which is a little bit unfortunate. You can't enlarge it either. It's quite a small map to look at, but it does show you the anything that's outside of the fog of war, and it does show you the your territory, your enemy's territory, and where your buildings are. Clicking on the map moves you immediately to that section of the territory, and you can toggle your buildings on and off as you wish. The next menu is the global economy menu, and this first tab sets what the toolmaker is going to make, given that he's got enough tools. The metalworks is where he works, and you can set these at different levels to say what percentage or what probability it is that he's going to make one of these. If you set them all the same, then he'll just move down the list to make one of each. But as you set the different levels, he'll make them. Now, there's 2 main philosophies here. One is that you set them all to 0, and you just set force him to make a tool when you need it, and you can click this tick box to make him only make that tool and no others. That's one philosophy. Now I did do some testing on this, and if you set all of them to 0, he will still make tools. He'll just make them, one after the other. So if you want to stop the toolmaker from producing, it's not done in this menu. You actually need to just turn his production off in his building menu. The other philosophy, and this is the one that I subscribe to, is to set up really a tiered system. So 0 for the things that you don't want, kind of a third of the way up for the things that you need a few of, 2/3 of the way up for things that you're going to need quite a few of, and then for things like pickaxes that you're going to need a lot of, scythes that you're going to need a lot of, you put them all the way up, and you just have your tool makers making tools continually, given that you know what your economy is going to need in the end. The next menu deals with the military, and so if we get a closer look at this flag, you see the black cross on the white flag, you see the single stripe on the white flag there, and the totally white flag there. These flags actually mean something, and we find them in the global economy menu on the second tag. And so white flags are a long way away from the enemy, medium flags for ones with a black stripe, a medium length, and a cross are close. Now I have done the research on this. Close is anything closer than 18 spots away. Median is 18 to 23 spots away, and long is anything 24 or more spots away. And you can set how many soldiers you want to be in here. So you say, I only want a minimum number of soldiers in my houses that are a long way from the enemy. and that's okay because they can't really attack you. The median, actually most of the enemy can attack you. Go and have a look at our video on the military if you want to hear more about that. So I always try and make sure that I've got maximum soldiers in my median and close range, because they can be attacked, the enemy can undercut you. The other buttons are whether strong soldiers defend first or weak soldiers defend first, and if you have weaker soldiers defending first, then you're likely to lose more of them but keep your stronger soldiers. Stronger soldiers defending first, you're likely to lose less soldiers, but you risk your strong soldiers. So yeah, when you've got lots and lots of soldiers, maybe weaker first, but actually once you get stronger soldiers, once you've got generals, you might as well send them out first. Intercepting defenders, how many people will they try and intercept 100% of the attackers, or will they try and intercept 0 or 50% of the attackers? And I normally try to keep this as high as possible. Again, it depends how thinly you're spread. And then attack strength. Now attack strength is interesting because it tells you how many soldiers it will tell you can go and attack. So let's go check this out. I've got a stronghold there, and 15 attackers can attack, not only from the stronghold but from other buildings as well. It's telling me I've got 15. If we take down the attack strength, then it's going to tell me I can only send 8 attackers. And what this is really good for is if you find yourself always overextending, always sending too many people and then not having defenders back home, maybe you want to limit yourself and keep some attackers back. Well, once again, we've run out of time, but we will finish off the last 3 menus next time. I hope you've learned something today. I hope you have a lovely day. We'll see you next time.